can download my latest song, Shamanic Soul Chanting, and other mantra tracks from my website, JasonGallant.ca. Sometimes I feel like a crazy wizard. Okay. And this goes in alignment with the video today. You know, what I want to speak about today is the fact that you take yourself too seriously. Okay, you know, whenever you're suffering, you know this, you are taking some part of yourself too seriously. It's like getting obsessed with one single hair on top of your head and saying, if it's not exactly in the right place, then that's it. This entire body deserves to die, you know, because that hair is out of place, right? So it's this, you know, misappropriation of priorities that causes so much suffering. Okay, but you know, at satsang last night when I was working with everyone, I had, you know, some pretty good language come through. I was pretty impressed with the intelligence that was coming through, because after all, it's not mine anyway, okay? This intelligence that comes through is not mine. I guarantee you that. I mean, you just spend a day with me and you'll realize that this is not my intelligence, okay? But what it is that I have learned how to do something, okay? Or how not to do something, depending on which way you look at it. One thing I have learned is how to open the door. Okay? I have realized a long time ago that I am nothing more than a doorway for reality to pour through. So it doesn't matter what's coming through the doorway. It has nothing to do with me. It is just the universe flowing through. Okay? And this is happening in everybody. This is actually happening in everyone. But the problem is that a lot of times things will come through the door, and sometimes things won't be comfortable, and a person will take ownership of that and take responsibility for it and say, I must do something about this. And then the entire drama ensues. So don't be John, don't be Tom, don't be Jennifer, don't be Lisa, don't be, you know, I'm just coming up with random names here. So if some of you are actually named these names, please know that I'm not talking about you specifically, okay? But if you are being yourself, and I'm talking about your identity, if you're being your identity, then you are forever going to be lost in the micromanaging of that identity, okay? And saying, okay, I need to fix this about it. Now I need to do this about it. Now I need to do that about it. I need to do that. You know, and it's a never ending. It's never ending. There's always going to be some flaw with you. Okay? As long as you're in the game of fixing, there's always something else to be fixed. You know, it depends on how you look at things, right? One person will look at something and say, wow, it's perfect. Another person will say, no, that's broken. So whenever you look at yourself from a place of having to fix, it creates a game that never ends. And it never leads you to pleasure, okay? So if you're on the spiritual journey, you're looking for the absolute highest unconditional state of pleasure and happiness. That's what you're really looking for. And I'm going to say that it is not found in your identity. And I know a lot of you get this, but hey, I got to remind you here and there. And thanks for letting me be the crazy wizard. Because I'm just letting stuff flow through, see? This is what's coming through. You are actually responsible for what's coming through me. That's why sometimes I can say some stuff that's pretty insulting, but you're like, hey, no, I like that. Yeah, here. You're clapping. Because you're the one that's pulling this out, you see? Your essence, your spiritualness, the source of who you are, is trying to remember itself and discard the identity. So it is finding the source of me and the source of you, and we're connecting, and then there's a flow that's created. It's like a positive and a negative in a battery. Okay? So remember, you are the portal, you are the loka, you are the chakra, you are the doorway. And the doorway, if you open a door, what's there? Space. Space through which things flow. You are the space through which everything flows. Now the question is your door open or is your door closed? This is very important. When you know how to open the door instead of keep it shut, then divinity flows. And there are many experiences that go with it and many beautiful things. But the fact is that if you are seriously fixated on saying, I am imperfect, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do all these things, you're in the doing stage of fixing based on pain, that means your door is closed. As long as you keep fixing, as long as you keep looking for how to micromanage and come up with a picture and control and all this, that keeps the door closed. Surrender, receptivity, those things open the door. So all the videos you've watched, all the videos you've understood, this is what this is all about. It's about opening you. You are the doorway. You are the doorway through which the divine acts. It's no longer in your control anymore, you see. That's why, some religious people really get it. Some really don't, okay? So I don't want to get into that discussion. But the fact is, there are some religious people that say, give it over to God. It's all in God's hands, They're not coming up with rules and regulations of how they have to figure it out, micromanage, organize God, right? They're just saying, hey, everything flows through me. It's all up to God. That is a devotional path that works very well. If you can surrender to the flow of life, to the flow that is coming through you and the flow that is coming at you, the flow back and forth, you can surrender to the flow that's happening through the doorway. That is a beautiful way to take your spiritual realization to higher and higher levels. Right? Because the flow, at some point, you will realize you are the flow itself, the space itself, and then there is nothing else there's no chance of closing the door anymore, because you are now totally the flow. There's no more door. Everything is open. It's just expansive openness. Liberation. Liberation from that door ever being shut again. So yeah, if something's really bothering you about you, really bothering you about your life, really bothering you about what you're supposed to do or not supposed to do, remember, those are things that are just flowing through the doorway. They're not you. And it doesn't mean anything about you if you can actually fix this problem or not fix that problem. It doesn't mean anything about you, that you are insignificant because you couldn't fix this, or that you're a better person because you could, right? Let go of being a person. You're not actually a person. You're riding a vehicle known as a person. It's kind of like riding a little donkey, right? This donkey named Jason is being ridden all over the place. And it's a stubborn donkey. But what is riding this donkey? That's the space. So you fall into that, you let go of taking the donkey so seriously. Okay? It's okay to be a jackass sometimes. It's all right. But don't ever believe that you are totally that. That is just a vehicle or a tool that you are using to experience this reality on this level. So it's quite fun once you are immersed in who is riding the vehicle. The experience of spaciousness and divinity is also here as you are riding the imperfect vehicle known as the donkey. Okay. I'm sure some of you will get a kick out of this metaphor, but yeah, that's basically it. You are the doorway. You are here to be a doorway to allow the flow. It's like a river. You allow the river to flow where it's going to go. You don't micromanage it. And I mean, we have done that in our society, and I'm sure in some cases it's caused some positive things. But a lot of times meddling requires more meddling. If you create a dam upstream and then there's a whole bunch of changes that go downstream, and then there's another dam that needs to be built because now this farmland's getting washed out, and it just continues, right? You don't have to dam up the flow of the universe that comes through you. When you allow that flow has more power than your will could ever have. It has intelligence. It knows what to do. So your job is to allow that flow and to allow greater and greater and greater amounts of that flow into your life. And that flow will turn very much to joy. And before you know it, you'll be surfing happiness and peace and love and different types of experiences that are positive, I guess we could say. that are happier, more fulfilling. You'll be surfing those waves through your life. Now you get the power of a tidal wave behind you when you're flying through town, instead of doing something and trying to manifest the willpower every step of the way through your life. You see? The power flows through you. You don't create power. How much power can you flow through you? How much can you allow? So it's kind of like a contradiction. You allow and you accept defeat. And by accepting defeat of the universe, that nothing's in my control, now the power of the universe starts to flow through you and create such a divine life. I hope this helps you on your journey. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting my work, and I also want to let you know I also have another YouTube channel called Jason Gallant Music, and there I will be uploading meditation and music tracks, and feel free to listen in, and you can also access those tracks on my website at jasongallant.ca in case you want to download them for your iPhone or iPod or something like that. Okay? So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.